So your pentatonic scale, like in the key of A, you're starting on your root, and then you go step and a half on your sixth string, whole step on your fifth string, whole step on your fourth string, whole step on your third string, step and a half on your second string, step and a half on your first string. That's your pentatonic shape. I kind of see it in like shapes, like little boxes. It allows me to play it faster, like if I want to go. Just doing a little extra note there. That's just an extension. That's another thing you should know, is also like where the different positions, not just in your fifth position, but you should know the ones around it. Like know this shape, but also know this shape. It's kind of cool when you're soloing if you want to. You know? And then there's this one up here. So, you know, it's just good to know them all. Good to know, not just your basic. You want to be able to move around in that so you can. Anyway, so yeah, that scale's really served me well. And the blues scale is basically just an extension of that. So you know, you got that blue note, which is your tritone. It's that. It's that note. It's the A, C, D, and then it's actually the E flat. And you could bend up to that too, which kind of gives it that bluesy kind of. So that's the blues scale, just an extension of the pentatonic. It just has that extra note. It has that one extra, they call it the blue note. That tritone used to be called the devil's note. Black Sabbath. Sorry. That note, that's what makes it sound so evil. So, yeah, that's why they call it blues and rock and roll. They called it, you know, devil's music, because of that note. In classical, at one time in classical music, it was actually illegal to utilize the tritones in music because it was considered evil. So I don't know how that works, but anyway, pentatonic's great, man. And I just, you know, you find that the key notes that bend. You can bend most any of them, but there's certain ones that work really well, especially on this one, in this position. And again, you can move this position, this shape around for whatever key you're in. If you're playing in the key of G, your octave. Typically, always want to land on your root note. G, If you move it up to B, E, so anywhere it works, and the blues scale too. Playing blues in E, which is that root 5, which is the 5th note of the major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So root is always the first note or the key that you're in. Root 5 is that root 5, and then the root 6 is the root 5, root 6 is basically the blues rhythm. Use that same shape that I was showing you down here. There's certain notes that are really bend well. This if you're playing an A, which I said we were going to stay in, but I lied. If you're playing an A, that step and a half on the first string, that's a good one to bend. And you bend up half steps and whole steps. Again, you're bending up. That's a whole step bend. You're bending up to, you're just bending up. And you can do half step bends, which really work with your little color notes too. Like if you're trying to integrate the major and the minor, like you can do this like little half step. And what that essentially is your major pentatonic. It's an extension. Now the major, okay, let's talk about majors, major pentatonic and minor pentatonic. You always have a relative major to every minor. I'm sorry, the relative, if you're playing in minor pentatonic, which is what I was showing you, major pentatonic would be a step and a half down. So in other words, F sharp, that same shape, will work over a major chord progression. So you have that extension that I was showing you. Like, remember I was showing you that extension on the A? Well, you have the same extension up here in your F sharp, and it bleeds into your minor position. You have that same, you're playing the F sharp minor, which is your A major pentatonic. There's always when you're playing a minor pentatonic, you're playing a major in a different key. You just don't even, you might not even realize. When you learn your major shapes, you also are learning minor. So I was talking about A, and I kind of got off on a tangent here. So you're playing A, and you're playing the minor pentatonic. You know, say you're doing the, bending. Then hammer pull. That's kind of a cool little lick that I use a lot. And you can go. But you're going, you're pulling off and then hitting this note on the second string. You can do that for each string. Up, down, picking here. Alternate. Actually, it's down, up. And you can do the same thing with hammer-ons. And when you mix them up is when it sounds cool, and then when you throw in some little pull-offs like really only hitting the one note and then pulling off the other two. same thing. And you walk that up the neck, it sounds pretty cool. I mean, if you can get it fast, but anyway, that's something to fool with. But learning how to integrate the major and the minor when you're playing, when you're stuck in the minor pentatonic and you want to throw in some major notes, some color notes. You don't really even have to leave that box, right? You can throw in this note here. This really works really good. This one right here. On your third string, if you're playing in the A minor pentatonic, you throw in this little note. Third string, half step up. And then hit those two. And then this note here is also another good one, which is actually works either major or minor, because it's part of the minor scale, but it's also part of the major scale, and part of the minor scale. So anyway, that one works really good. And then this note right here is really cool. This is only major, because I mean this is your minor note right here. This is your major. Gives you that major. It's an extension of the F, I was telling you, F sharp. That shape being a relative. You throw that little A. You're bending only a half step, so you're bending up to this note. You're going. And sometimes you can hit this one here. Gives that a nice major feel. And plus throw in that other one that I showed you here on the third string. It's kind of cool. All my brothers use that a lot. Clapping too. He does that. Again, mixing up the major and minor, just extending that even further. If you extend it up, and you keep playing that major, or the minor pentatonic shape from the A, it keeps going up. Same thing as, so you learn where your notes are in that scale, and so you can move around in that same shape, in that same, not same shape, but same scale, that same minor pentatonic. And then you learn the notes to bend in between. Like this is a good one. This is a really cool major kind of thing. It's actually 12, and this would be over. You could use this over A. You're holding the 12th fret, first string, and bending the 13th fret, second string. And then you hit the 14th fret, third string, and that's a major. You can play it over minor, but it's a major. All relating to that A. So you're really only bending up to here, that's what makes it major. Even though this note is in the minor scale, the A minor scale, you're bending it up to here, this note here, which is in the major, the A major scale. So again, back to this down here, this shape that you can move around. This one I work so much, man. I play the shit out of the same scale. That's just your your 8th fret, your step and a half up from your bar. Blues. And then up to that blue note. Just hammer. Note, hammer, root. Just working that. Playing that to death, man, because it just works over everything. Anytime you're playing in the A, you could be playing an A, you know, blues. Here, when it goes to that 5 note, that's where you can throw in your major. Remember, you're down here in the F sharp shape. When it goes to that and then turn around. Back to that E, and that's a 7th chord. Jimmy would always throw this note in here, like the Hendrix chord. And basically you're just doing a little step, 7th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret. That's E. That's an E. If you do it in A, it's up here. With A is your root. Anyway, pretty cool chord. Used a lot in blues. That's the open version in E. Stevie used it a lot. Jimmy in Voodoo Child. And again, that's that same pentatonic. Now I'm just playing an E, starting on my E, open E, and that same shape. So it just would be like if I was barring the open strings. But I don't have to bar, so I can go. That's why open strings are so cool, especially if you want to extend it. That's an E. 11 trower with that blue note. Anyway, some stuff for you to fool with, man. I hope this has helped. Again, the E. I'm just throwing in the minor. Or major, you know, either way that note is. This one's strictly major. And basically that's just when you're E, and your minor, you know that your relative major is, well, it looks like a C sharp. So if you want to play E major pentatonic, you would play in the C sharp minor shape. So, like a good example is Melissa Owens. It's in the key of E major. He's playing in that shape. But you're using that C sharp minor pentatonic. So, anyway, I'm kind of jumping all over the place, man. Back to the A. Now, remember I was saying that the A minor scale, well, the A minor has a relative major, and the relative major to A minor is C. So, and the reason is because it's a step and a half up. There you go, A, B flat or A sharp, and B, and then there's your whole step. Then you're half a step. Boom, you're at C. So you know that C major scale is the same as the A minor scale. So when you learn that A minor shape, you're also learning the C major scale, and that's good to know. It's just good to know because it's good to know your relative minors and your relative majors, because you learn one scale and you're really learning two scales. You learn the C major scale, it's also the it's also the A minor scale. It's dark when it's minor, and it's happy when it's major. So, anyway, it's good to know your, like I said, it's good to know your relatives. In the A, you're playing the A minor, you get that little. Those are kind of cool, that one. So you're mixing up the major and the minor. Clapton did it all the time. Jimmy Page, Hendrix, they all did it. Hendrix is all over it in Red House. You know, he's like. And he's throwing it. That's in the key of B. It's a B blues, so it's actually the B major chord where you're playing a B root 5. space around that major chord. It's your F sharp, E, back to the B, and he would mix up the majors and minors and that all the time, like. That's a cool little lick to throw in. That, based off of whatever root you're in. Like if you're in the B, you get up to that third string, slide up a whole step, then a half step below that on the second string, then a whole step. You're just extending that pentatonic scale. So you're going. The blue note, which is here, and then up to it. I don't know, man. I hope that's helped you some. Showing you how to incorporate those major into that minor or that bluesy. You get that major. And you know, when you're playing here in the fifth, you know it starts over. 12th fret is like your open, so when you're up here, that's your A again. That's the same as this playing down here, so you can do that same shape. Up here, you can do that same stuff. Gives you a whole nother range. And you're extended. Hitting that major note. It's a cool double stop. You do that. These two are part of your minor, which will be the same thing as this. Then you bend them. You can also do them here too, these two. Or you could bend them both together. Hit these two.